the Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers and Assistant Ministers, the Honorable Leader of Opposition, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ayanda Winaka. Honorable Speaker, I rise to deliver my statement on the status of termite infestation on timbers used in buildings and the control measures the Ministry of Forestry is currently using. Honorable Speaker, I am delivering this statement because the issue of termite infestation on timber is a cause of concern and has become one of the critical national interests. Last week, the Honorable Rinesh Sharma raised the issue of termite as a supplementary question on the statement on timber research that I delivered, raising a crucial question on the role of the Ministry of Forestry in this regard. Honorable Speaker, we have a total of 13 species of termites, which are all local or endemic to Fiji. But we have two main broad categories of termites that are infesting timbers in our buildings, and these are the drywood termites and the subterranean termites. Drywood termites fly directly to the timbers that they wish to attack, and their infestation can be seen in old furniture and in relatively old timber buildings. But they are not as damaging as the subterranean termites because its population is small, from a few hundreds to more than 1,000. Subterranean termites, on the other hand, live underground, and one nest could have a population of 60,000 to 2 million. Honorable Speaker, in 2010, the Asian subterranean termite with the scientific name Coptotomus gastroi, one of the most destructive termite species, was confirmed to be causing massive damage to wooden structures in houses in Lautoka. It was first discovered and reported to biosecurity in the late 2009 and later discovered in Lambasa after Fiji-wide awareness campaign. Honorable Speaker, it was assumed in 2010 that the Asia subterranean termite might have entered Fiji through infested wooden packaging materials from Asian countries. The extent of damage to infrastructure at the time strongly suggested that the Asian subterranean termite, or AST, was introduced to Fiji more than 4 decades ago, building up its numbers to a visibly destructive stage now. Honorable Speaker, the termites tunnel their way out of their nesting place to start attacking homes, eating their way through the timber. Damages caused by the termites include structural timbers, wooden goods, paper, cotton cloth, cotton garments, certain plastics, trees, and many crops throughout the world. Honorable Speaker, before I focus on the use of chemicals to protect timbers from termite attack, it is important to stress at this point that chemical treatment is only part of the answer to our problem. In fact, proper timber specifications, the use of suitable house designs, and the appropriate use of physical barriers can totally remove the need for chemical treatment of housing timbers, especially pine. And this is an area that needs to be included in the current discussions on AST and also in the overall area of chemical treatment, given the need to consider the environmental and human safety consequences of the disposal of timber products at the end of their life cycles. Honorable Speaker, the main purpose of treating timber with chemicals is to protect the timber from insect attack and fungal decay, making it more durable and be able to last longer in service. Without treatment, Honorable Speaker, and without using proper timber specifications and suitable building designs, many species of timber, including pine, will not be suitable for use in exposed and in ground contact situations. Timber treatment, therefore, acts like an insurance in substantially extending the service life of timber in the absence of proper timber specifications and suitable building designs. Honorable Speaker, it must, however, be noted that the treating of timber with chemicals is not compulsory. It is only when a timber processor elects to undertake timber treatment that the current legislation comes into play to ensure that certain quality and safety standards are met. This is because some untreated timbers from species such as pine can be used without any problems for some specific end users, especially for non-load bearing and in fully protected situations and out-of-ground contact. Also, Honorable Speaker, timbers for end users such as clear furnished furniture, cabinets and interior linings and flooring are not treated. And in general, low-grade timbers destined for boxing purposes are normally sold untreated. Honorable Speaker, at the same time, there are native species like the heartwood, of which are naturally durable and do not need to be treated. So in the market, one has a choice of purchasing either treated or untreated timber, depending on one's requirements or specification. Honorable Speaker, it is important to clearly explain the link between termite infestation and the protection measures used in the timber and the construction sector. Termites thrive when timber is easily accessible, untreated, or incorrectly used in construction. In other words, Honorable Speaker, the more vulnerable the timber, the more attractive it becomes to termites. That is why our protection measures must be multi-layered, involving 1, proper building design, 2, correct timber specification, 3, the use of naturally durable or treated timber, and lastly, physical barriers that reduce termite access. Honorable Speaker, chemical treatment is only part of the solution. If timber is incorrectly specified, or if a building is poorly designed, even treated timber may still be at risk. For this reason, Honorable Speaker, proper design and correct timber use are equally, if not more important. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Forestry currently regulates the operations of all timber treatment plants in the country, as required under the Forest Regulations of 1992. Timber treatment plants are licensed annually and are monitored on a quarterly basis. The monitoring of these plants focuses on operator competency, health and safety, and quality control, where timber samples are collected for testing on a monthly basis, looking at the concentration and penetration of preservative chemicals in the timber to ensure that these are within the required standards. Honorable Speaker, different end users have different levels of chemicals with assigned brandings include H2, usually for interior use, and is fully protected from the weather and not in ground contact. H3, usually for exterior use, not in ground contact. H4, usually are posts, which are low risk and have ground contact. H5 are poles, have high risk and have ground contact. H6 are posts and poles, usually for marine use. Honorable Speaker, all licensed timber treatment plants should have the appropriate branding gears to enable them to brand their treated timbers, showing the treatment ID plant number, the chemical used, and the hazard level to which the timber has been treated. One end of every piece of treated timber, Honorable Speaker, should be branded as described. However, Honorable Speaker, I would like to stress that although the Forest Regulations of 1992 mandates the Ministry of Forestry to license and monitor the operations of all timber treatment plants, it does not authorize the Ministry of Forestry to also ensure that timber users only buy timbers which are treated according to the legally prescribed standards. Honorable Speaker, we can only advise and offer our assistance in the proper specification of timbers and also in the inspection of the purchased timbers to ensure that the specifications provided by the buyers have been followed. To this end, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Forestry has been working tirelessly over the years, carrying out awareness and training with timber retailers and hardware shops, and also using the radio talkback shows and the Nai Katalau TV program to educate and to raise awareness to the general public. Honorable Speaker, consumers need to know and understand where the timbers they are buying are going to be used and seek the assistance of the ministry as well as retailers to ensure they specify the correct products to purchase in terms of species, dimension, grade, and the level of treatment, if it is going to be treated, rough or machined, and whether the timbers need to be kiln dried and properly profiled for flooring, weatherboard, or lining. Honorable Speaker, we should also understand that the supply of timber, especially for some native species, for large dimensions, can sometimes take long to produce and deliver. And ordering in advance, especially for large projects, is always advised. Honorable Speaker, as this issue of substandard timbers continue to be a challenge, especially in the face of the incursion of the Asian subterranean termites, the Ministry is at the moment exploring the possibility of developing a timber marketing regulation to also oversee the operation of timber retailers, and we will be working very closely with the Fiji Competition and Consumer Council, FCCC, in this regard. Honorable Speaker, I again wish to reiterate that treating timber with chemicals is only part of the solution. Proper design of buildings and proper specification of building materials and ordering in advance all go a long way in ensuring that we are better protected, especially against termites. Honorable Speaker, last but not least, I would like to thank you and your staff for your support and guidance throughout this year. Honorable Speaker, I'd also like to thank the Honorable Prime Minister for his able leadership and wisdom in continuing to steer our nation forward. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, I wish you and all honorable members of this August House a very happy and blessed Christmas and a prosperous and meaningful New Year. Nasaka.
Thank you.